We had one hell of an interesting SEC championship game, and Bama just took it to that Georgia offense. Now they have gotten themselves in the playoffs, and that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to be talking about the college football playoffs, my predictions, and we're going to go over obviously some bets because, you know, that's fun. It's always fun to put money on the game, but do bet responsibly. But what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave that thumbs up if you enjoy the content. And as always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's go ahead and get into this. We're going to be talking about Georgia, Michigan. Georgia is the current favorite at 7.5, over under 43. Sounds about right for these defenses. Both quarterbacks are nothing to write home about. I guess if I were to give the edge to one, it'd probably be McNamara. But both leave a lot to be desired. So let's go ahead and talk about probably the most interesting, I think, matchup is how this Georgia offensive line will kind of rebound after getting it taken to them by Alabama, Will Anderson, Fedarian Mathis, Christian Harris, because they got to face David Ajobo, Aiden Hutchinson, the most fierce pass rushing duo currently in college football. Now, Georgia, they love to run the football. They love to run these tight sets. It just is what it is. They love these two tight end sets. And you know what? They've done it well all year. They got a plethora of different running backs that run the ball very effectively for them. But when this team got behind and they were having to pass the ball more, that's when this offensive line really got exposed. I mean, Jamari Sawyer, he ended up giving up 2 sacks when he didn't have a tight end next to him. Not to say he was like the worst part of the line. Honestly, he was probably the best part of that offensive line for Georgia. But yeah, man, I think Schaefer ended up allowing like 6 or 7 pressures. It just wasn't good. It wasn't good. So this Georgia team, they're not built to play from behind. That's just not Stetson Bennett. Especially if they get behind in this game, you know, the JT Daniels whispers, man, people are gonna be talking. They'll be like, "Where's JT, man? Where's something to spark this offense?" Just because Bennett's I don't think he's that guy. He's good at I think he's good at efficiently running your offense. But this offense, they do better at, you know, being ahead. When it comes to Michigan, because this is a fierce defense, this Georgia defense, I know they didn't look good against Alabama. They looked good for the prior 12 games, though. This is a good Georgia defense. However, I really do like I do like Michigan. I think that Jim Harbaugh and Josh Gaddis, they have been really exceptionally creative offensively. Like, this offense is a lot more fun to watch. Now, Georgia, I don't think they're going to be able to rely on just like front 3, front 4, that they are going to have to bring the blitz, which typically they do. I feel like they just didn't really do it very effectively this last game. Again, that Bama game, I had a lot of gripes with how they were playing defense. I don't think a lot of that was on the pass rush. Because, I mean, they were able to get home at times. It was just Bryce Young was able to escape. And McNamara is one of those guys. If he can roll out, he's got wheels, man. He can run. But I really do think that what Michigan does, it's a bit simplistic at some point. Like, they really do like the read option. They're pretty RPO heavy. They like to get the ball out quick. A lot of things that I think can neutralize this pass rush from Georgia. And it kind of comes to like, okay, then how will the running game do for both squads? Because I think the Bulldogs will likely win in this department. I think the Bulldogs can, while as good as a defense Michigan has, that Georgia defense is just on another level, in my opinion. I think they're just more filled out in spots. And I think they'll be able to, like, for the most part, contain the run a lot better than Michigan can. I don't think both teams are going to be running very effectively, though. I mean, there's a reason this is a 43.5 over under, you know? Uh, I guess the question really is, because Michigan's kind of hot. They've been, I mean, okay, if you go back to, oh, well, they let Kenny Walker kind of walk all over them, that Michigan State game. They have been very good against the run since that game. Like, they held Ohio State pretty darn well. Like, they wiped the floor with Iowa. In Iowa, that's all they can do is run the game or run the ball. They've been very effectively. I think they could probably keep guys like Zamir White, James Cook, and Kenny McIntosh in check. I really do, man. I really do. Like Brad Hawkins and Daxton Hill are very, very underrated run defenders for coverage guys. Like those guys, they play very good run defense. So I don't know. I feel like I'm a bit everywhere. Like I really think it's gonna come back to, or this game's gonna come to, obviously which offense may be the most explosive, you know? And I really think Michigan, they're a bit more explosive. I really do. Like, can Georgia's defense rebound? Yes, I think it can, but there's some real problems in the secondary when they're being attacked vertically. Like, I had a real problem with them not playing press on guys like Mechie and Williams, I think it cost them. They were soft in the middle of the field. Like, they were real soft in coverage. They played a lot of off coverage. And especially, like, if you go to William Poole, who was playing the slot in the SEC championship game, he's a senior, doesn't have a lot of snaps to his name. He was toasted in that game. Utterly toasted. This team struggled against speed. Michigan has speed at the receiver position. And this offense is playing, they're inspired, they're play calling, it's creative. I think Michigan could take this one. I think it's going to be close. Guaranteed, straight up. Over under, I'm taking Michigan in this game. 7.5, that's too juicy to take. Over under, it's a bit more tricky. Because you look at 43 and you want to take the over. But, golly, this really could be a defensive struggle. And I would play the over under. I'm just going to say that. But I would take Michigan at 7.5. Easy. Just super easy. Plus, I think special teams wise, man, like Michigan's pretty darn good there too. So yeah, this is gonna be, I think this is gonna be probably the better of the two championship games. I just have a feeling. So I can't wait for this one. Orange Bowl looking to be a banger. Let's take a look at the Cotton Bowl. Cincinnati and Alabama, man. This is actually a showdown between much better quarterbacks in Desmond Ridder and Bryce Hall. Let's talk about Bryce Young, excuse me. Let's talk about Bryce Young and that Alabama offense after what they just did to Georgia. Because that offensive line, this offensive line has not, outside of Evan Neal, has not played that well this year. They've been okay at points. They've struggled mightily at points, but they played out their mind against Georgia. Evan Neal was an absolute savage, and the thing is, Cincinnati comes in with a front seven in terms of schematically very similar to Georgia and how they play. Like guys like Myjah Sanders, they play more over to the inside of the tackle, though they have played him outside quite a bit. But Cincinnati, man, I think they'll be more dedicated to actually, no, we got to bring some heat, man. We got to bring some heat on Bryce Young. If this man, given time, can throw the football and throw it efficiently, it's going to be tough to contain him. Because, like, what? I think he had 3 rollouts escaping from pressure against Georgia that went for 10-plus yards. But, I mean, it's something you might have to live with. But Cincinnati has guys that can hit home, man. Like not just Sanders, but Curtis Brooks from the interior has been a menace all year. Joel DeBlanco, and even the other edge guys they have there, they've been hitting home. Like, so they got guys that can do this. They got guys that can come in and bring adequate pressure. Keep in mind, Cincinnati, yeah, they're a group of 5 team, but they essentially have a Power 5 squad. There's a lot of NFL talent on this defense and on that offense. But how long can they hold Bryce Young? How long can they hold Jamison Williams? Yeah, John Mechie, he's out for this season. He's gone. Towards ACL. He won't be available this game. But they've had guys step up this year, Slade Bolden, Trayshawn Holden, that have been fine when called upon, though they are facing a very good secondary there. Again, this defense is great all over. One of the best press corner duos in college football. You got the Sauce, Ahmad Gardner, and you have Kobe Bryant, not the Black Mamba, but Kobe Bryant. And dude, even who's back there at safety? Cooks. He's only allowed 20+ yard passes all season. And this is something Georgia did not do to Alabama, and I kind of talked about it earlier. They did not press. They gave a lot. They played a lot of off coverage, and even when when Ringo went to go press Jamison Williams, the safeties were so late to get into where they need to be in coverage, just because Jamison Williams is so quick. He's so fast. Were the safeties late, or was Jamison Williams just that early, And I think Ringo actually played pretty darn good coverage. It's just Williams is that much of a mismatch nightmare. How long can Ahmad Gardner, because I imagine this is who they're going to have on him, how long can he lock him up? Ahmad Gardner, man, he's a very physical corner. He's got great length, but we know speed, while speed's not bad, it's not Jamison Williams. How long can Ahmad Gardner keep the top on Jamison Williams? That's going to be a big question. That's going to be very interesting. How long can they hold Jamison Williams? They have other targets. They got Jalen Billingsley. They have Cameron Latu, who have, again, these are guys that have been very good chain movers. So I still think that his Alabama offense could still run effectively. I mean, look what they did to Georgia, obviously. Even without John Mechie, I think this team will be fine. They might not be able to run the football efficiently, because I really think that Cincinnati, they've been pretty good stopping the run. And, I mean, if you look at it, teams like Auburn and LSU, they were able to keep Brian Robinson Jr. under 4 yards a carry. And I think Cincinnati has a better defense than both those teams. But to be fair, Brian Robinson, I think he's been one of the more impressive run backs in college football this year. This is a guy that I just thought, was typically your typical strong, big power back, but he's got some juice to him this year. But I think Cincinnati, they could hold him in check. The thing is, can they keep Young from making the big play? Because Auburn, that was the thing, dude. They kept that Alabama team in check for quite a while. They weren't able to really get a big lead on them. They were able to keep the offense in check. But when it came to crunch time, Bryce Young delivered. How long can the Cincinnati defense do that? That's my biggest question, because this is a really good defense. They're going to need some firepower from the offense. Will they get it? I don't know if I have that much faith in this Cincinnati offense, mainly the offensive line. That's one of their biggest weaknesses by PFF. They've graded to have the 77th in terms of run blocking, and they're 71st in terms of pass blocking in the nation. And we see that mainly in the pass blocking. But let's talk about the run blocking for a second, because I hate this. I want Jerome Ford, who's currently my running back 5. Don't know if he comes out. He could end up staying another year, but he's currently my running back 5 in the 2022 NFL draft. He's a former Alabama transfer. I want him to come in, face his former team, and get his. I just don't know if this offensive line will be able to allow him to do that, because he's going to be facing some legit bullies in Fedarian Mathis and Will Anderson, who's going to be a top 10, top 5 pick in the 2023 NFL draft. He is a star. So I don't know, man. If he's able to get to the second level, then yeah, guys like Henry Toto and Christian Harris, who have been, well, mainly Henry Toto, who's just been a missed tackling machine, don't scare me. Because Ford is a guy that can break it at any moment. So he could end up getting the rock 15 times. He could break 20+ yarders maybe on 2. I think they could keep them keep them in check most of the game. Like, they're keeping them under 4. Shoot, keep them under 3 yards a carry. But he could break the big run at any moment. That's the thing with him, man. Just being able to get this guy to the second level. Can this offensive line do that? In pass blocking, can they give Desmond Ridder enough time? Desmond Ridder over the past, month and a half, he has been one of the most deadly downfield throwers of the football. He's been making big plays downfield. Alec Pierce has enabled a lot of that. He is a fantastic vertical receiver. And you know what? Alabama, they've been susceptible to getting beat deep. Either getting beat deep or more so the pass interference deep. So I think Cincinnati, they win this game if they can continually throw the ball deep, because if they got guys like Kool-Aid or Josh Jobe out there covering, we could see a lot of penalties. Now, keep in mind, they do get Jalen Armour Davis back. They should, in theory, get him back. He's been a lot more solid in coverage. Jordan Battle, legitimately, he is a guy that can be used in a variety of different ways. He might be used around the box. He could be used back there in coverage. He had a pick 6 to essentially seal the game for Alabama against Georgia. He's another guy you want to watch out. He's a kind of a ball hawk, man. He's a big hitter too. Big hitter. So can they? I don't know, man. I don't know. Because Will Anderson is going to be tough to stop. Fedarian Mathis, he was a monster against Georgia as well. That's why Justin Schaefer had such a tough time, dude. Mathis is very, very explosive. Very strong, straight line type of guy. Get into the passer. Will Anderson, all right, talked about him. He's a monster. Will Desmond Ridder be able to do that? I don't know. I don't feel good about that. I look at this spread. Honestly, I'm taking Cincinnati the points. I love taking underdogs. 13.5, that's a bit rich for me. I say if this gets like at 14.5, I'm taking it in a heartbeat. I don't think this is a 2-touchdown like blowout by Bama. It can be, but I don't think it is. 59 over under. Gosh, it's so tempting to go with the under. Because I really think this Cincinnati offense, I think they might get put in their place, man. Just because I believe in the pass rush so much. I mean, and we didn't even talk about Christian Harris, who's among the best blitzing linebackers in the country. Like, don't get me wrong, dude. I'm rooting for Cincinnati. I'm probably gonna bet on Cincinnati with that over under. But I think Alabama wins this game, which means I got Alabama versus Michigan in the national championship. I went ahead and did my own odds for this. I got the over-under at 53. I think that sounds about right. Maybe it could be a little less, maybe 48. But I think Alabama will probably be 6.5 point dogs. I think they might show Michigan a little respect. And I know Nick Saban, he's very good when he's allotted a lot of time to prepare for a game. But I think you give Michigan a little respect. They just beat Georgia as well, in theory, in my predictions. So I think they will give them less than a touchdown. So give it a little respect. So how does this game go? Honestly, this is one of my favorite matchups. I hope this kind of happens. I mean, I did just say I'm rooting for Cincinnati, but I like the idea of Evan Neal facing Aiden Hutchinson, 2 top 5 picks. Throw David Ojabo, who might be a top 15, top 10 pick in this draft as well. That's very sexy. That's very appealing. I just talked about how Michigan has done a much better job against the run, so maybe they could hold Brian Robinson under 4 yards a carry. Trey Sanders hasn't been running the football that efficiently for Alabama. It's Brian Robinson's show there. But even if he's getting 4 yards a carry, that's fine. It is what it is. Okay, well, what can they do for the pass? Because honestly, what I'm doing, I'm putting Daxton Hill on Jamison Williams the whole game. Like, Daxton Hill is a guy I think they've played him at corner before. He hasn't done it for a lot of times, but he is a guy that I think can play corner. He is your best athlete on the team, mind you. Best range. Put him on Jamison Williams. I would love that. Even if it means he's got to go light up on the outside a bit more consistently, I say do that. How long can they keep the top on Jamison Williams? That's a good question. Because early in the game against Roger McCreary in the Auburn game, I was like, man, I don't know how long Roger McCreary could keep him on hold, because he had I think he allowed 1 catch on 4 targets, which is like, oh, that's pretty good. well, one of those was like a very, very blatant pass interference that wasn't called. And it was like, oh man, is he going to struggle here? And then Jameson Williams got ejected from the game for targeting. But I think this Alabama offense, they might be able to struggle. There might be a struggle against the pass rush. Man, but they looked so good against Georgia. So good that I think that maybe that they may be able to move the ball at least a bit better than a Michigan offense against this Alabama defense. Because again, I've been saying they've been doing things creatively for that Michigan defense or offense. They've been game planning, but I mean, you can only pull so many tricks out your butt for a whole season. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they pull a Philly special. Call it the Ann Arbor special. I do think they might be able to run the ball a bit better than Georgia was able to. Because I mean, Hassan Haskins and Blake Corum are a really good duo. McNamara, he's got some legs to him. It's just avoiding. If I got McNamara, I'm avoid the middle of the field. Avoid the middle field. Don't you be throwing. He's gonna miss Jordan Battle over the top, and Jordan Battle's gonna have like 3 picks. And then maybe people will think about Jordan Battle as a first rounder. I really think, man, Jordan Battle's he'll probably be a second rounder. I think I'd be willing to take him at the end of that first round. He's good. He's a great athlete. Man, dude, I'm still trying to kind of like decide myself, who do I lean here? Because Alabama, let's be honest, that's the boring answer. Alabama wins everything. Haha, it's a joke. It's a meme now. It'd be cool to see Michigan, come back and win something, but I think I might give the edge to Bama just because the quarterback, Bryce Young, man. Like, we've seen this guy step up in big moments, and he's delivered. He has delivered in spades. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the better quarterback in this matchup. Even with a pass rush that fierce. Because I'll be honest, I may be like, oh, dude, they should throw Daxton Hill on Jameson Williams all game. I don't think they do that. They'll probably have Vincent Gray, who's kind of their number one on the outside. He's like probably, I think he's like a 4-5 guy. He doesn't have the speed to keep up with Williams, and they got Brad Hawkins back there, who's not a great athlete. He's a very wise, he's not a bad athlete. He's not like, I don't think he's very similar, I think, to Lewis Sine, who got kind of beat up. He allowed a lot of those plays to get behind him. Not because I would say he was late to assignment. It was just Jameson Williams is that quick to get there. So I don't know, man. I think keeping Daxton Hill in the slot is a disservice, especially if they have to go one-on-one with Bama. If you're not going to play him one-on-one with Williams, then shoot, you better at least move Daxton Hill as your center fielder, man, because the guy's got range and he'll help keep the lid on Williams. But yeah, I think I'm leaning Auburn in that game. And again, I'm not going to guess on my own over-unders and my own spread. That was just for fun making it up. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. Who do you have winning it all? And yeah, till next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.